Hello and welcome to the IFP Legacy Podcast, a podcast that honors the people, principles, and sacrifices that shape the Inkatha Freedom Party. I'm your host, Fanele Mhlongo, and I'm honored to bring you conversations with the stalwarts of the Inkatha Freedom Party, whose dedication and service have shaped our communities and our nation. Today we are at Ingwelezane Township, where we are visiting Umam Ebi Mchunu. We will remember that Umam Ebi Mchunu is one of the IFP stalwarts and is the second chairperson of the IFP Women's Brigade, and she was also re-elected to the position of the chairperson of the IFP Women's Brigade. So today I'm honored to be here at Kayala Mchunu, where we'll be having a conversation with Umama Umchunu. Mama Tungwane, can you tell us a little about yourself and your early life? When did you join the IFP?
Njomane, let me first welcome you, Gwamchunu, and your teammates. It's such a pleasure when we see young people visiting us, still consulting us. Because some may think that because we are the older generation, things have changed. No, they don't change just like that in life. Life is life, and it has got its own principles, and those principles have to be followed. So welcome to Gwamchunu.
Mama Umchunu, when did you join the IFP?
I joined the IFP in 1975, and I was very lucky in that the original constitution was being translated by Ubaba Simang Unkonka Wefusi, and I happened to be staying there at his place in Maritzburg when I was doing public health. So I was very, very lucky. It was just automatic.
So, Mama Tungwane, as the IFP was celebrating 50 years last year, you were also celebrating 50 years of your membership at the party, and you look so young.
Oh,
so
yes.
Saying you are 88 years.
Celebrating with pride. Yeah, I'm going for 90 now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for 90 with all the pride. It's the prayers and the good care of the young people. If your children are treating you well, you don't age badly because they look after you.
Yeah, so you're
just bad.
So you're no longer active in politics. What are you doing now?
Well, we have got to give space to the younger generation and give advice here and there. My main concern right now is poverty. And dealing with poverty means that we still have to have gardens. Not only home gardens, but community gardens went a long way when we were building up the IFP. I remember that we had gardens which were called Engochini, and those gardens ended up being supported by Red Cross right from Geneva. And those mothers are still busy in the gardens producing their vegetables. They've not changed. So that's what we need. A home that is well fed, children that are well looked after by their mothers and their grannies. Because that is our role, to make sure that families are well fed.
So you are walking on the footsteps of Umntwana Pindangene, who used to preach self-help and self-reliance.
Exactly. And he took it from his own mother, Umntwana Omkhulu, Umntwana Magogo. She was just everything in home care. She was everything.
Ma'am Ebi Mchunu, now as a politician, as a female political leader, What were you advocating for? We've seen that you even have a picture in your house where you are saying that you were harassed by police at the steps of Durban City Hall. What was happening there?
Now, in politics, you may have some thrashings, but those thrashings do not mean that you should have a hard heart, a hard heart. Rather, soften your attitude and try to communicate with your adversaries. Because if they are there, they are there. And it doesn't help to fight them. Rather, try to convince them to communicate with you or with each other. Right now, I'm very happy that we have adopted the present system of GNU. And it means all the parties have got to listen to each other and work together. We cannot say there is a party that is much better than others. I mean, in life, everybody has mistakes. It's a question of give and take and make way for other leaders as well. But then it does give me a bit of a worry. In our country, you don't know who is listening to who, with so many parties springing up now and then. You know, big countries like America, England, they don't have more than 3 parties, and they are able to listen to each other. But then if we've got more than 20 parties, who forms who what? Who listens to what? Are we just concerned with the pay packets only and not, teaching the people, developing the people? It's a question. And I think this has got to be looked into. Because everybody is jumping like a frog, everybody to himself, and not caring even for the children that are coming after us. Our children are now just vagabonds. They are even staying in forests with no food to eat. And we are trying to give them, 350. 350. Trying to compensate for love. That's not enough for love and caring. A child needs a home, a warm home where there is warm food and a warm place where a child sleeps.
Looking back, Mama Tungwane, being a female leader in politics, what were some of the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
The challenges, some of them, it has been very difficult to overcome. The killings of family members is one thing that was really hurting when political parties were attacking each other, or one would not say whether it was political parties all the time or it was just skebengus who took chances when they realized that there was violence. Because I remember quite well when we lost my husband. It was very, very difficult. And it took us 40 years in the family to communicate about his passing away. It's just all of those things that are hurting. Our politics, it's bad because it tends to be a battleground. Politics is not meant to be a battleground, but there should be exchange of ideas, building each other in the policies of a country, not killing each other. We don't make manure with this tumbuzabantu. You kill a person, you make manure with him? No. It's time we sat down and did something different now.
Ma'am Mchunu, you are talking about the killing of people. We know that we are in KwaZulu-Natal, where during the local government elections, we normally experience political killings. What word of advice can you give out to people as we be building up to the local government elections, which we know that each and every time there's local government elections, a number of people are killed?